Good evening. Pardon me. Good evening and welcome to NycosRPG. This is a very special edition because I'm going to be introducing you. Take over. Overtake. Whatever. Good evening and welcome to NycosRPG. I'm Jonathan Albin, your host, and I've got a very special show for you tonight because I have written a poem. Now I'm going to tell a story about how the poem came to be, and then I'll play it for you, and I hope you enjoy as much as I enjoyed trying to put it together. Now, I am a storyteller and game master with 50 years of experience, but poetry isn't necessarily my strongest suit, although I have written quite a few in my time. This one is intended to be a song, but I'm not a lyricist, and neither am I a musicologist or a songwriter. So if somebody out there would like to put this to song, I would appreciate it because I would love to see this legend become truth, because this is really a story that explains my take on the Christmas spirit and how things have evolved. So before we get there, and if you haven't yet, go ahead and punch all the buttons down below. I really, in particular, am interested in you subscribing to the channel because I want to make sure you know whenever I release new information, because maybe it'll be a song, maybe it'll be a story of a game session, maybe it'll be a tip or a technique that'll help you make your game the maximum amount of excitement and fun it can be. All right, so here's the story. After a 23-year marriage and a rather rough period afterwards dealing with the things that had happened, without going into a lot of details, my daughter had died in a car accident, which led to a disconnect and eventually the failure of my marriage. But I was operating on my own out here in California after the breakup, and in that time, my buddy and I, Dave, would go every Christmas as a kind of a victory lap, I suppose. We would go out and look at Christmas decorations just as a way to get out of the house and to get away from the rather raw emotions that still cropped up, because Christmas had been my daughter's most precious holiday, and also our family had been very close during the holidays, and so it was a tough time. So we would get together and just go cruising around looking at their Christmas lights as just something to do. Well, when we had arranged to go and do this, my buddy said, "Hey, did you get a chance to see that Christmas duck?" And I said, "What are you talking about? I've not heard of a Christmas duck. I've seen geese. I've seen holiday geese because they're associated with, of course, with A Christmas Carol and the like." And he said, "No, it was a duck. It was really clearly a duck." And I said, "Well, where was it?" He says, "I don't remember exactly, but I definitely want us to go find it." I said, "Okay." Well, so we went cruising around, listening to Christmas music, and my dad would travel with us because he didn't have anything else to do either. So we would drive around looking for this Christmas duck, and we went up and down every street in San Bernardino, every street in Colton and Redlands, and all of the communities around here. And there are a lot of people. This is a very festive and very seriously Christian environment. So there's a lot of great Christmas decorations, some of them whimsical, some of them outrageous, some of them silly, but no ducks, not a one. And so that we thought that was kind of a funny thing to talk about, and how, you know what you're talking about, Dave, they're everywhere. Look at all this Christmas. Anyway, the point was we didn't find any Christmas ducks. So that came up the next year around. Now, at that point, I started thinking to myself, why isn't there a Christmas duck? There's a lot of places and stories that could happen, but why isn't there? What? And of course, we were making all the jokes that you'll find when you listen to the song, listen to the poem, and of course, it was just silly, and it became more and more of a legend. And so I started building and formulating the story of this duck, and of course, I gave him a ridiculously silly name, Bartleby, but you'll see that it's got a little bit of Dr. Seuss, a little bit of Gene Autry in it. It's built in the same anapestic tetrameter that we used for those poems. And while I am not a linguist and I'm not a poetry writer per se, I think I did pretty good with that. So with all of that, I want to thank you for watching today. If you like what you hear, give us a like, follow the channel, and of course, let me know if you are go ahead and as they would say, stitch this. I'd love to see what your take on the music of this song might be. And I've got pretty broad shoulders, so do your worst, so to speak. I'd love to see what you can come up with. And of course, I am endeavoring to get this published. So if you want to support us in doing that, feel free to do that through our Patreon program or subscribing here to YouTube and to our Twitch channel. And we're on the air generally twice a day. I've been holding off a bit here near the holiday because I know everybody else is also as wrapped up as I am in the activities of the holidays. But I thought this was a great addition. And as I would normally say at these times, thank you very much for watching. Merry Christmas and have a great New Year. And keep them rolling, and we'd love to see you next time around.